And a warm welcome to all of you on the day 2 of Bootstrap series. So let me have the setup. In the meantime, people will join here. So is our folder what we have done yesterday, and let us go live again. So fine. So yesterday we have completed the basics part, and today we are about to start the grid system. So let me wait for 2 to 3 minutes. Hmm. Okay, so my setup is almost ready, and 1 second. Okay, so today we will start with Bootstrap Grid System. Okay, Bootstrap Grid System. So today we will be completing this topic, and as I've told you, grid system is the only feature which is making the web page responsive and it is totally working internally. So here, if you see, let us start with the Bootstrap grid system and we'll see the the following parts of Bootstrap grid system. So as I told you yesterday, that it are these are breakpoints, container, row, and column. Now, okay, so let me open the official documentation of Bootstrap also, because we are taking the reference from that particular site only. So this is a page from where this is the official web page from where we are taking the reference. Oh, sorry. Now, let us see the next thing. What we are going to see is the breakpoints. So first, grid system contains of breakpoints, container, rows, and columns. Now, let us start with the breakpoints. What are breakpoints? So breakpoints are nothing but the categorization, I can say the differentiation based on devices width. Okay, so here dimensions are the devices width and class infix. Okay, so let us have an example. Oh, okay, so before going, let me have a view of the breakpoints and it comes under the grid system. So let me see. Not in the utilities layout grid. Okay, now see. So these are the, okay, 1 second. second. Breakpoints. Okay, so these are the breakpoints which has been decided by the Bootstrap system. Okay, so in this breakpoint, if you see here, we can have a class, we can have a breakpoint, we can have a class infix, we can have the dimension. So what I do, let me copy this thing. So you can see here the breakpoint. One second, let me adjust. Okay, so this is what the breakpoint. So here you can see a breakpoint. This is an extra small breakpoint where we will be using no class. So here it has been written as none, and in the the dimension, will be greater than 576 px. Now for the small breakpoint, we use the class infix as sm, and it will be less than or equal to 576 px. Now for the medium breakpoints, we use the class infix as md, and the dimension will be less than or equal to 768 px. And for the large, we use the class as lg. The dimension will be less than or equal to 992 px. And for extra large, we use xl, and the dimension will be less than or equal to 1200 px. So that is how the differentiation between the breakpoints has been done in the Bootstrap. Okay, so here if you see, now second thing is the container. So let us see what it tells about the container. So here this is the container. Now container. So here if you see here, on before going further, let me have some code also. So comment out. Okay, fine. So here, what I do here, let me have a dot 𝐶𝐸𝐼𝑁𝑒𝑟, a div with the class as container. Now here, container is nothing but a wrapper. Which you have seen chocolate wrapper, which wraps the chocolate inside it. So container is nothing but a wrapper that wraps the entire website. Okay, or we can call it as a div also. The parent div with the class container is called as a container because it wraps everything inside it. Now there are 2 to 3 types of container. So there are 2 to 3 types of container, but we will see each and everything later. And but in order to understand the concept, what we see, we had discussed this now. Now after this thing, let us discuss more on container. Okay, so here in this container, let me take a view of the web page where we have password generator .net. So try to focus on this website. Okay. So this website is almost 992 px wide, but it is using this much of the space. So why design? Because we have used the dimension property here. Now let us try to understand once more here, because say the screen is 400 px and our website is 400. So the screen is 1400 px and our web page, this is a web page, this white portion is a web page, and it is using the 400 px. So our website will always look 400 px only. Now for example, you can refer this website, the secure password generator website, okay, like that. Now after this thing, let us see the next thing, which is called as the row. Now what is this a row? So here the row. So we have the row part here also. Where is the row? One second. Okay, row. Now here, if you see div class container, div class row dash calls get two, means two columns will get created, and you need to have a common class which is called as a call, and the content which will be the column here. Now let us see how this thing will work. So what we do here, we have a div class container, and in this div class container, what we do, we have a dot row. So in this dot row, so let me have the content as row. Now see, so in this dot row, what currently will happen? Divides, it divides, it gets divided into 12 equal columns. So this whole page get divides into 12 equal columns. So that is how it works out. So column equals to grid. Now let us see how to read this. Okay, so one second, let me show you one thing very important. So here if you see, column means classes. So here call dash one means this particular column, this like that. Call dash two means two like this. Call three means three in one. Again, the three columns will get merged in a one. Four means four will get merged in a one. Five, you can say five also, six also. Call eight and call four. So eight is one and four is one. And div class call dash two. Call dash 12, call dash 12. Yeah, no, good evening. Yeah. Call dash 12 means 12 columns will get occupied here. So that is how you can use the classes. The main purpose of Bootstrap is only the classes, because it is a set of library which have the classes with them. Now after this thing, let us switch on to the next thing here. Now let us so now let us see, now let us discuss more about row, because the grid system contains of, let me write breakpoints, container, row, column. So the grid system contains of breakpoints, containers, rows, and columns. So breakpoints are very simple, which we have seen just now. And after breakpoints, we have discussed container also. Now, let us discuss more about row. What is a row? So a row is a div. So a row is a div which contains column. So row is a div which contains column. Div with column class. So this is very typical. Div with column class must be present inside like that. So that is how it works like that. Now let us discuss some more thing about here. So there are some rules which we need to follow. Okay, the rule number one is a row is a div which contains column, and div with column class must be in a row parent. Div with column class must be. So call div cannot be inside a column div. So that is the rule. Now, whenever you define a div with a class row, with the class row, what it does, it divide that div into 12 equal columns. So that is the main purpose. Now, let us see, let us discuss some more thing on container. Now, for the container, there is also a rule. The rule is that in the bootstrap, that after body there has to be a div with the class container. So we have a div. So after body, this thing we have commented out. This thing we have commented out. Yes, this thing we have commented out. So the rule is after body, this is the word. So after body tag, there has to be a div with the class container. So that is the thing where we have seen here. Now after this thing, there are three types of containers. So okay, so let us see these container types. One second. Containers. So here, so there are three type of containers. So first one is the plain container. Okay, it contains nothing inside. So first one is the plain container. Now, what plain container do? Plain container sets a maximum width at each responsive breakpoint. Okay, so here, let us see this thing. So this container have, when the dimension will be extra small, so it uses 100% of the weight. So that is how this thing will work here. Now after this thing, let us see. Okay, so let us check this with the help of example. So 1 second. No, here what I do, in the style, in this style, let me have hash red. In header will have a background color of red, and also let me have a height of, let's say, 500 px. Now we will define this red. So here, for this to define, let me have a container dash width, and we will have the id as right. So here you can see the id right has come here. Now will what we do here, let me remove this thing, and we'll have a h1, and in h1 we use hello all. We have the content here. Now here, what is happening here? What is happening here? It uses the, so 1 second, let me open this in Chrome. Now see. See, it uses the 100% width. So that is what it is written here. If you see the container fluid which is with 100% at all breakpoints. So you can see here container, one second. The container fluid which uses 100% width of all the breakpoints. So that is what it is working irrespective of the screen size. See, if it is small, it is using the 100% of the width. Now, after this thing, what we should see the next thing here, one second. So, now let us change this container fluid to the parent container. Now, see, now we will see the responsiveness. Now, see how it actually works. Now, see it. Now let us see the table. So, in this container, okay, when the dimension is between extra small and small, so it will be 100%. So let me make it small. See, when it is between extra small and small, the dimension will be the dimension will be 100%, and that is how it works like that. Now, second thing, if you see here, second thing, if you see, which is again the most important thing here. Okay, so one second. Okay, so let us discuss this. Now let us have a discussion on this table. So here, using container as a class, what we have did here. The screen size between large and extra large. The screen size between large and extra large will be 960 ps. So using container as a class, the screen size between large and extra large will be 960 px, and between extra large and extra large will be 1140 px. So that is how you can read this. Now after this thing, let us see the last one is the container breakpoint. Now, what is container breakpoint? Container breakpoint, earlier this container breakpoint is not in the previous Bootstrap, and it has been said that new versions are coming here every time. Now here, that is why this is being added recently. Okay, and it is a combination of both the containers. Combination of both the containers. Both the container means container and the container fluid. So that is how this thing will work. Now after this thing, let us see. Okay, so let us experience this thing, that how this thing will work. So let me use the container dash lg, container dash lg with the IDF right and the content as hello all. Now the container dash lg. Okay, so it uses the 100% of the width till when the screen dimension will be between medium and large. Now after large it uses. So let us check out. So now see after large till medium it uses 100%. Now after this thing, see. So that is how it works like that. Now after this thing, let me change this to, let me have the container dash sm. Now see how it sm. For sm, see for the sm it uses the 100% of it for only the extra small. So for the mobile devices, when you're designing, you can use the container dash sm as the class. Okay. See, for the small devices, it uses 100% of the width, and for the other devices, other dimensions, it uses as mentioned. Now for MD, medium devices, let us see for medium devices, till small devices, for medium devices, how it reacts. At particular this point of time, this is the break even. Okay, earlier in SM, the break even was that. So here the screen size has got a little bit large. That is how it works. Now after this thing, after MD, let us see LG. So let us explore how this LG will work. This is the break. This is the breakpoint. At this particular point, the transition is happening. That is why. Okay. Now after LG, let us see XL. No. Okay. So this is the transition level. At particular this point of time, after XL, let me see double XL. So here if you see, I am not writing a single line of CSS, but with the class only, things are getting managed. So that is the beauty of Bootstrap. No. So this is the transition level. Okay. So that is how using giving this class name, so you can adjust it. Now after this thing, but before going further, 1 second. So the day 2 attendance link has been shared in the live YouTube chat. I request you all to please fill, and I will wait for a minute for you all people to fill it. Once someone will fill, please reply with yes so that I can go further. The attendance link has been shared. Once you fill it, please reply with yes. Okay, so Let us see row. For row, let me have another style here. Hash green, and hash green will have a background color of aqua, and let me have the height to 100. Yeah. Now after this thing, what I do here, I need to define this green also. So we have a div with the class as, let me change this to LG, and with the ID as green. And in this, what I do, I will declare dot row, and in the row, I have ID green, and the content will be ROW capital. So here this div ends, and this is for this div. Now Control A, Control Shift P, format selection, everything will get formatted. Now see what is happening here. So what we did, we have added a div with the class row. So the rule is also that you need to create, you need to have the first is that after body there has to be a class with container, and after container there has to be a div with the class as row. So that is the rule what we need to follow, and we are following it. Now after this thing, here if you see for the row, it uses the width, by default width of the content. So that is how it looks like it. Now after this thing, okay, so now let's change the class to container fluid and see what happens here. Okay, so if I change the class which I have taken as container dash LG, if I change to container dash fluid, okay, FLUID, FLUID, see. The Prolu container fluid uses 100% of the available screen width, so that it is using the same. Now, no. So Bootstrap says, as we need to add any content inside a column and not inside a row, but here we have added inside a row, so that needs to be corrected. So here, so row can be inside a column or container, but column cannot be inside a row. So that is again a rule that, so let us summarize the rules. Okay, so there has to be container after body. After this parent class container, we have to have a class, we have to have a div with a class as row. And now after this class row, either we have a content or we want to create another column. So we need to have a class row. Now in this row, we can create columns. So let us see. The thumb rule is column cannot be inside a column, and every content will be inside a column only. So column cannot be inside a column, and every content will be inside the column only. Now let us see. Now we will use the by default Bootstrap class, with the help of which we can give background color from now, in spite of using different IDs. Okay, so if you see here what we have did, we have used a hash of red, hash of green for these two kind of colors. Now we do not need to use such thing here. So let us apply. So let us apply here a div with the class. So let me have with the class as bg dash primary. bg dash primary is the div class, and in this let me have h1 hello. So here you can see it is created like that with the content as hello, and see. Okay. Now using another class text as white. Let us see how the font color will get changed. So here if I use text as white. Okay. Using the text as white. See, the font color will get changed to white. Okay. So now so that is how it works like that. Now let us see now. Okay, so now what we'll do, we will not create ID and we will use the classes of Bootstrap. Okay, because we need to use that only now from now onwards. Now let us see the flow. The flow will be container row. After row, either we have a content or an image. Okay, now or the second probability will be container row column row content or image. So that will be the second two probabilities of Bootstrap. Now, okay, so now what we do, we will again use the breakpoints. So we have the breakpoints here. If you see these are the breakpoints. Okay, and here and in what we do in this in we need to use the column class. So what we do here. So if we want a div equal to 5 columns for extra small for this particular thing dimension, we need to write call dash 5. So let us explain how we will be doing it. So here we have a div with the class container fluid. Let me comment out it. We have a div with the class container fluid and ID of red. After this thing, we have a div with the class row with the ID of green. And in this thing, what we do, we write the class. So we have the class as call dash md dash 4. Okay, with the content as bg dash primary with the text. Sorry. But call dash md dash 4. Okay, so that is how it works. See, so we have a div with the class call dash md dash 4 with the content as bgs primary and the font color as black. Now, after this thing, what I write here, call dash 4. Now, there are only a maximum of 12 columns. Okay. So what I did, I have utilized 4 here. Now, I can utilize 8 more in the same row. So let us have another dot call dash LG dash 6 and I use BG dash danger space text white. I use text call dash 6. So you can see a different kind of a call gets created here. Now after this thing, let me create another call. A total of 12 in the same line. So what I do, dot call dash LG dash 10 और 12. Okay, and here we use bg dash secondary call dash 2, and we'll use the text as white. So that is what we have created. See, now let us change the screen size. If you see here, it is also responding in a responsiveness manner because irrespective of the dimensions, it is reacting properly. What we have, right? For the call MD, for the medium screen, we use the 4 columns. So what we are using, see, we are using 4 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4. For large screen, we want 6. Large screen, we want 6, and for another large screen, we want 2. So 4, you can easily see the differentiation. Here you can see 4, 6, and 2. So that is how the partition will get created automatically using a single class of calls. Now, so let us check this for the extra large. But there is a rule. If we have applied this for extra large, okay, so we have applied this for this thing. Now, for below this, when the screen size will be extra large, large, medium, small, or extra small, it will this div will automatically change to 12. So it uses the 100% of the bit. So that is how it is using it. So you can see when it is below extra large, so it is utilizing the 100% of the bit. So that is how this thing will work. And after this thing, let us is let okay. So let us check it out for the for what for the LG. Now LG is the last screen and it is between in all the dimensions. Now the rule for LG below LG below LG means for medium, small, and extra small. It uses the div to 12 equal columns, and for the greater size of the screen means for extra large and extra large. How it reacts? So let us see this thing, how it reacts. See, that is the beauty of Bootstrap because it actually automatically adjusts the screen what we have given. So in a single line, you can use a maximum of 12. Now, okay, so now if we want to change this setting, we can do that also. Let us have what I do here. I use call dash LG dash 4, and in okay, so let me add another screen size. So call dash MD dash 6, and here also call dash MD dash 6, call dash MD dash 2. So let me change it to 5 and 5. Now see how it reacts. Because we have added for 2 screen sizes for large and medium. Now let me react this is a transition point. At particular this point of time, the transition will start happening. Now, if I want to add another screen size for all dash sm dash 10, similarly I can have for all dash sm dash 1, and here also for all dash sm dash 1. Now see, for small devices how it works. See, it uses 100% of the screen size. So for different screen sizes, you can use a different screen dimensions also. So that is how this thing will work. And after this thing, let me add okay, so we have already added different differences. Now this is called as a responsiveness. Why responsiveness? Because depending upon the size of the screen, if we are viewing this page on a small device, on a medium device, on extra large device. So what we have given dimensions for large device, for medium device, and for small device. So as soon as this web page will gets viewed in a will gets checked in a large screen, so it uses this particular content call for uses the 4 column. Okay, call 6 uses the 6 column, and call 2 uses the 2 column. So you can easily differentiate with your eyes that how this thing are using. So 2, 6 and 4, because this is the very big after this second one, and this is a short. So that is how it works like. Now after this thing, let us see nested. What is a nested kind of a thing? So nested. What is nested? So nested means how to divide columns into 2 or 3. Okay. So let me have a setup. What I do here, use a div, and in this div, what I do, I use a class container dash fluid, and will use the ID as red. And after this, the second rule will be we have to have a div with the class as source dot row, and will use the ID as print. And in the content part, what we do, we use a div with the class called dash lg dash 4. Sorry, call dash call dash lg dash 4. We have it is not working. I don't know why. One second. Dot call dash lg dash 4. Okay, so we have a div with a class call dash lg dash 4 for last year, and here what I do, we will add some bg dash danger space text as right, and in the content part we have written, we will write call dash lg dash 4. So let me have the output. So the output will be here. Okay. Now after this thing, let me copy paste the will have call dash lg dash 8 bg dash success. Text will be white, and we'll use a class, we'll use a content dash call dash sg dash 8. Now see here we have used like that. So if you see here, this thing will work. Now see, when it is below large screen, so it uses the 100% of the width. That means it uses the width of all the 12 columns. Now, if you want to create a column inside a column, so if you want to create a column inside a column, we need to create a row first. So that is the rule. Now, and inside the red row, we can create column. So that is the rule. So we need to follow it. So what we will be doing here, in the second part, what we do, we will create a dot row. In the dot row, we will create dot all dash 4 bg dash light 4. We'll use the all dash 4. Sorry, dot pol dash 4, and we'll use bg dash info dot call dash 4. We'll use bg dash danger, and the content will write 4. That is what we have created. So what we did, we have created a column inside a column, but we have created a row first. So that is how we can create a column inside a column. And I just tell you what so far we have learned till now in these two classes. Okay, that is again very much sufficient for you to make any web page responsive. Okay, you can make any web page responsive with the help of these things what we have learned, because these things are the basic things what we have learned, and it is the content. Okay, now so, and but now what is happening, so many different new versions are coming, so we will be seeing, we will be viewing the later part on Thursday same time. So I hope you all have filled the attendance here by now. So I'll see you tomorrow